Mark, would it be fair to say that the anger or feistiness or whatever it was that you showed at the end of last game is something that you channeled and used in this game?
I don't know. I just didn't like the way that we were playing. I didn't like the way I was playing, so I felt like I had to do something, get a couple penalty minutes. So, we as a team, we didn't like the way we played, in Florida. So, just a sign of, a lot of good character in this room is that we wanted to bounce back. We wanted to have a good game in front of our home crowd before we go on the road for, feels like forever. So, it was just a great all-around effort by everyone.
How did you like the way your team played and you yourself played tonight?
Great. That's an easy one. I'm so lucky to play with the guys I play with. Casey, amazing pass on the hat-trick goal. Nicky, amazing pass. Gabe, a great drive-through. So, I'm blessed to play with the guys that I play with, and I owe it all to them. They were fantastic tonight.
Your line had a lot of points. It had a lot of control throughout the night. The last game that they played, it seemed like their stars stepped to the forefront. Was it important for you and your stars to step to the forefront tonight?
For sure. They have a fantastic team over there. Barkov, Reinhardt, those guys, play a solid game. They don't give you a whole lot. So, we as a team, we just wanted to be better than we were the other night, and I think we showed that tonight.
Mark, your third goal, you guys had complete zone domination all 2 minutes. You guys obviously don't get a change, but neither did they. What was the exhaustion level at that point? I think you scored 6 seconds after. So is that one of those cases where you're probably tired, but maybe they're more tired?
I think you're always more tired defending than you are when you have the puck. When you have the chance of scoring, you can find a little extra energy. We just wanted to get a plus on it and not a power play goal.
Morgan, a good pool player from what you guys seen on the road?
Well, he went to Cornell, so I think you have to be pretty smart. I was going to go, so those are huge goals, huge kills. Especially after they just scored one, like to put that one in and seal the game, that was amazing.
There's a couple sequences where Gabe is using his feet along the wall to keep possession, just certain little plays to hang on to the puck. How big is his ability along the wall for you and Kyle in terms of extending plays in zone time?
Yeah, his stick is just fantastic. He has a knack for holding onto the puck, being strong along the wall, having a very crafty stick. So he's a fantastic player. Like I said before, I'm lucky to play with a guy like him, and he was fantastic tonight.
Some huge goals all throughout the game, but maybe even before you guys got on the score sheet, you guys are getting to the middle of the ice a little bit, probably better than the other day. What was going into that? How did you guys accomplish that today?
We made adjustments. We didn't like the way we played, and they played us hard and did certain things. And when you get the opportunity to play a team back to back like that, you gotta make some adjustments, especially losing 5 rip. You have to make certain adjustments, and we did that, and it paid off.
Were you switching sides a lot more too? It looked like you guys were sort of area passes from one side to the other quite often.
I think just getting it open ice. They like to collapse pretty quick. They like to swarm around the puck, and they do it actually very well. So I thought we did a great job at executing. Just getting in an open space and getting them into man on man, and guys just made some good plays. We executed, and the other night we didn't.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Morgan, I'm interested in you taking us through that play when you get the puck, and it kind of seems like you are thinking your way through almost like a math problem, maybe checking angles. But take us through that play as you steal it and you seal it.
Yeah, you're not the first one to make that joke, so that's good. It just kind of opened up, and I didn't have a lane at it, so my thought was just kind of get it down to the other end of the ice, and I figured if I'm going to shoot it down anyway, I may as well try to put it in a place where it has a chance. And I think the puck actually went on its edge, so I thought it was going to roll wide, but it didn't. So it was good to see one going.
Are you a good pool player?
No, terrible. So I don't know how I made that happen, but it worked.
Geometry student?
No, some of the guys are making fun of me for school in Cornell, but that's not it at all, I promise.
You guys as a team collectively have been scoring a lot of goals. That hasn't been an issue, but you were stuck on none. Was that something you thought? That's obviously not your primary role, but something that you were thinking about?
Yeah, more than I probably care to admit. I mean, it's you try to ignore it and kind of stick to your process and not focus on the results. But at the end of the day, it's you want to be able to contribute and eventually score a few. And so I you're probably gripping the stick a little bit tighter than I wanted to. But hopefully that kind of lets things relax a little bit.
Not every empty net goal is equal, but that was actually a huge empty netter, right? Because they're back within 1 and 6-on-4 again, so that felt like it let some pressure off you guys.
Yeah, I just said it on the radio. Like, I think it was a great opportunity for us to go out and after giving up the one to make it 4-3. You're right back on the PK and have another opportunity to ice the game. So that's huge for us to kind of be able to close out those games, and it's something we're still going to continue to learn to do. And hopefully it doesn't get to that point, but a lot of guys stepped up, so it's good to see.
Beyond your 2 goals, your line showed out tonight. What do you think your line specifically did better?
Yeah, I think just getting the puck below the goal line. It sounds simple, but in Florida we had a tough time kind of managing pucks and felt like we were turning them over a little bit. And we all consider ourselves players who can play fast and be strong. So I think when we put pucks in areas where we can retrieve them, it really allows us to make plays and funnel pucks towards the net. So. I think we've played some good hockey as of late, and hopefully we continue doing it and see a few more pucks go in.
Thanks, Morgan.
Obviously, he saw what happened in the third period the other night in their building. He was frustrated, as our whole group was, and he came out and was a leader, and he led. When your best players can be your best players in games like that, it certainly helps you have success.
the first 15 minutes of that game looked like it may have been a continuation of that first game, but there was a lot of chances they had, but it always seemed like their sticks were tied up at the last second, and there weren't a lot of clean shots. Is that an example of the details you were talking about that needed to be right tonight?
Yeah, I think that they're real good at it. They're real good at being heavy on sticks. I just thought our battle level went way up tonight. Throughout. And maybe even I thought at the start of the game the battle level was really good, and we knew it was going to have to be that way. They're a heavy team; they play hard and they come at you. And I thought we did a fantastic job of turning the tide and going and playing our game and getting out and getting after them.
They really come at you on their penalty kill, and I don't know if this is something I'm reading too much into, but were you basically snapping the puck around on the perimeter, having them, because you knew they were going to chase you, and maybe it kind of tired them out and allowed for some success that you had later on in power plays after long possessions?
Yeah, we saw that pressure down in their building. They didn't have a lot, but at the end of the day, the ones they did, we knew they were going to come, and they're an aggressive group. It's just something that's their kind of how they go about their PK, and when you have it's when you get more and more of them, like we did. We got some extended time on a power play. Now you're going to get those guys stuck out there. They're going to get tired, and that's kind of what happened on kind of both goals. We will kind of wore them down. We did move it. We shot the puck, retrieved it, outnumbered them on pucks, and obviously stayed with it and scored some goals off those.
Scott, sometimes empty netters can be like empty calories, depending on the situation, the score. It's safe to say Morgan's first one, the bank shot, that's as big of an empty net goal as you've probably seen in a while.
Yeah, obviously Florida, they weren't going away. It seemed like even though we got up, maybe some other opponents might back off and call it a night. They didn't. You can tell they're champs for a reason. They kept coming, and it took all those those shorthanded goals to kind of end it. I don't know if he's a pool player or not, but it was a heck of a bounce, indirect off the wall. But it was nice for him too, because he obviously was first of the year, and just to get on the board, and the guys were pretty excited to see them get him.
You mentioned the resiliency of Florida. In that sense, could this be, it's always hard in the moment to maybe put it into context, but could this 2-game set with Florida be a very valuable set of lessons for your group sort of as you go forward, both, everything that happened over these 2 games, the good and the bad?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some elite teams. Obviously, these guys are elite of the elite. You know what? The best part was that we got to play them again right away. That was the biggest thing. We got to go back at them. We knew how much better we had to be. We're going out on the road for 11 days. We didn't want to have to go out with a three-game losing streak. So there's a lot of things kind of piled into this game. But the biggest thing was just our players weren't real happy what happened coming home. That was a long flight home for us from Florida, and it started yesterday and into practice today, and into the game today, and we were determined that we wanted to make sure that the outcome was better.
The 2 goals aside, like Morgan obviously was a bit snake bitten in that category, but he's been a very important player for your guys. He's one of the best in the league at taking away pucks, according to NHL stats are publicly available. What can you say about just how valuable he is to your team and kind of the identity that you guys preach every day and what he fits in?
I mean, he's the first guy over the boards on the penalty kill with Lau. And that's a big responsibility. You're obviously facing the number 1 power play on the opposition all the time, and he's taken on that role. There's tonight where there's lots of situations where I threw him against a Kachuk line, and they got the zone time. That was one line for us in that first period that we were having a little bit of trouble with. They were a handful, Bennett and Verhaeghe and Kachuk. That was a heavy line for us, and those guys I thought in the second period had some great shifts against them. And Bears, those guys, they do a lot of the right things, and they're kind of, I don't want to insult them. They're the cheaper version of Lau's line. They do a lot of that grunt work and the penalty kill and all the heavy lifting.
We talked about Mark, obviously, and your best players being the best players in those types of games. But, each of those goals were timely in itself. There was a great defensive stop by Mark at that front in the first period. What have you come to learn about just the clutch gene factor of Mark Scheifele? This was a moment you needed him, and he delivered. What can you say about that element of Mark?
Well, that's the maturity of him being in this league for such a long time. His maturing as, for me in the last year or 2.5 years, he takes a lot of pride. Like I said, he takes a lot of pride now. That I shouldn't say now. I mean, he's probably always has, but just in the fact of being responsible without the puck. And when he makes those plays, he knows he's seeing Barkov. He's seeing Bennett's line. He's seeing elite players. He knows he has to defend, and that's KC. That's Gabe. That's Vladdy's line. They all take responsibility for that. And then when your best players are doing that, your top players are doing that, it sure makes it easier to sell to everybody else.
You talk about the importance of your leaders leading, and you started them. That was first line, top pair. I don't know what all goes into those decisions, but it looks like you gave them the opportunity to lead tonight. Yeah,
we had lots of good talks yesterday and today, and nothing heavy. It just they wanted the challenge, and I love the way they went out and went after it. That's just I could put them all. KC, JMO, Mel, They all wanted that challenge tonight. That they knew that we weren't at our best in Florida, and that they wanted to, turn that script around. And I thought that starting those guys would just be a way to get them into it right away.
Is there any detail from that type of chat? Like, that's a really fascinating inside baseball sort of moment. Who initiates it? What insight can you give us that leads to them saying yes, we want that, or are you offering it?
Yeah, we had a video session yesterday, the whole team. And so there was lots that they got to see, and it wasn't loud and screaming. It was just obvious. It was just obvious stuff that Florida did that we didn't do, and everybody was involved in the video. Everybody got to be a star, and so I think that everybody wanted to make amends, and you could really feel it. This morning I thought our meetings, getting ready, power play, penalty kill, our 5-on-5 at 5 o'clock. I thought everything, you could tell guys really wanted another piece of the Florida Panthers.
Last one for me.
And I'm glad they're in the Eastern Conference.
In the offensive zone, when they protect the middle of the ice so well, did you guys maybe do a better job of switching sides or just moving that puck into softer areas tonight?
We got through there so much better. The Tampa and the Florida game, we didn't do a good job. We did a great job of getting it through there tonight. Whether that was our defensemen making the quick up play, not allowing them to get into their structure, or as our forwards recognizing when it was time to chip and chase or whatever. The next play was probably the most important thing when we got that possession. And I thought we played fast, way faster tonight than we did on the other two games, and especially the Florida game. And I thought that our forecheck became a big part of what we wanted to do. We played fast, got through there, and now all of a sudden we're on the hunt, and from the hunt we got zone time.
So just before we go back to Mark Scheifele, we've heard a lot about him maturing this year and that being a lot of what's happening there. Fact of the matter is a lot of really good players get to the age he is now, and they're starting to wind down. They're on the other side of the mountain, heading down the other way. What's allowed him to get better from the maturity aspect of getting older but stay as sharp and good a hockey player as he is?
Yeah, he's one of our most dedicated players off the ice. When it comes to eating, when it comes to training, I mean, he's a machine. Whether it's getting ready prior to practice, even as start of practice, in practice, him and Casey drive our practice. Our top guys drive our practice. They want it to be hard. They want to be, pushed, and they push themselves to be good in practice. He's just a true pro. He's easy to coach in the sense that that he's coming every night. It's that he wants to score 3 goals every night. He really does, and he wants to push sort of that envelope every night offensively, against the other team's best players, and then he's bought into the side without the puck, and that just makes for a real good hockey player. Thanks, guys.